We are live. We are live. I've been telling people about you, Renee, telling them what a crazy person you are. So you'll have to live up to your expectations.
Yeah.
Hi, Robert, you're on already, and welcome to anybody and everybody. And I'll say good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And it's really lovely because we're getting more people from different places across the world. We've had Canada, Africa, Sweden, the UK, obviously, and here. But I can't remember the others, but there were a couple of odd ones last week. And I thought, oh, this is really lovely. So welcome to everybody. And I can see a few people on. So if you can just say hello and maybe tell me where you're from, if I don't already know you. Robert, I know you're from up in Katoomba area, and welcome. So yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. There was a sea of green everywhere I went yesterday and Friday. It was quite funny. Yeah, the school did everything green, which was fun. Now, we this week have, and don't forget your questions, or you can watch me, Roger, I love it. We need your questions. And once you've been listening to Renee, I'm sure you'll come up with some really interesting questions. And names for healing. Don't forget them as well. And they will obviously go in my beautiful healing book, which I use every week. And yeah, so let me introduce Renee. So I've known Renee a long time and I've been teaching her mediumship, but her passion is... I'm going to be like you, Renee. Oh gosh, we have hay fever causing problems at the moment, or pollen. So Renee is, as I say, a good friend of mine actually. And I've been teaching you for, I can't remember how many years it is. It's a few, isn't it now?
It's quite a few now. Yeah.
I must admit, she's a very, very good medium, but doesn't have the confidence in herself sometimes. But what she does have confidence in is her Feng Shui. Now, I'll tell you what Renee did for me a bit later, but let me just explain what she does. It says that she's a dedicated professional consultant committed to empowering women in achieving their goals, both personally and professionally, which I love. With expertise in Feng Shui, energetic healing, geomancy, that's a word I always find difficult to say, geomancy, Ki Men Du Ji, is that right?
Chimin Dunjai.
Oh,
yeah. It always catches people.
Okay, what she said. Auspicious date selection and much more. She channels her knowledge to unlock the potential of spaces for wealth, health, and harmonious relationships. Renee extends her services to businesses, optimizing office designs for success. Her holistic approach also includes home design, renovation, and speciality in fertility Feng Shui. That's interesting because there's a lot of fertility things. I've been watching that Little Miracles on the TV and, about IVF babies and things. So, but Renee's passion and comprehensive understanding make her the go-to guide for creating positive and supportive environments for success and fulfillment. So that's quite a lot to take in, and quite a lot to blah, blah, blah. But so I'm just going to say hello, Roger, Mel from Mossvale, Ian from Portsmouth in the UK. Robert says hello to you, Renee. And Tracy is up in Brisbane and she says hello. So tell us a little bit about, okay, I hadn't used your services and I got in touch with you, I think it was October time, and I had these issues with my eyes and I was really not being able to, I was really frightened because they told me that I could possibly lose my eyesight. So you asked me to send pictures and da-di-da-di-da, and then a layout of the plan of my house, which I did. Now, to start with, I just went, oh yeah, and put it to one side. You know, when you get something that's new and it's rather big, it just seemed too big.
Yes.
And I was busy. I'd been to Europe, or I was just going to Europe. I can't remember. Anyway, and I put it all to one side. Oh, hello, Rosemary. That's lovely to see you. Mandy, hope the car's going well. Natty Cat, I love you to bits. We need to do some more promo. And yes, so I had these things and I pushed it to one side. And then it wasn't until you posted a video or an article about you as you are now and as you were
Yes.
however many years ago. Was it 12 years?
I can't really remember, to be
I
honest.
think
It might be only about 6 years ago. It was,
okay.
for me, it feels recent, but
Right. But I saw that and I read it and I thought, this girl knows what she's talking about. I need to speak to you. So I spoke to you and said, my work's gone, my this is gone, my that is gone. And you said, right, okay, let's have a look at this. And I put it all into practice except one thing,
Yep.
which is a difficult one for me, which is
yeah.
the water pipes, the water taps.
Yes.
And I've put everything else. So Renee, made me move my fridge out of my kitchen. And then I filled it with a lovely cupboard with a workspace, which is great. But then I sent you the photograph and you went, no, it's not supposed to be activated. So I use it and then switch it all off, which is how
great.
I'm getting around that. I had to put a screen, which is so annoying.
Yes.
It is so annoying. So anyway, I've done that. And do you know what? Within the week, I had a new offer of work, and it covers Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, Brisbane, and Canberra.
Fantastic.
And I'm amazed by that. And I'll work in the UK. I think we've now got 10 shows. Every time Jenny speaks to me, she offers me another one, and they're selling out.
Awesome.
So I want to say thank you. I might get round to moving the water pipes, but explain to people. I'm going to say a few hellos, and then I'm going to let you explain to people what you do and how it works. So we've got Rosemary from Adelaide, Bordertown. Sorry, Rosemary. Maria Kearney, happy birthday for, I think it was on the weekend. Gail Woodford from South Australia, trying to connect. Michelle White. Let us know where you're from, Michelle. So we've got the lovely Renee, and she's just about to talk to us about her Feng Shui. Mario from the UK, lovely to see you again. Okay, so over to you.
Yes, so I'm just trying to, do you mind me talking a little bit about yours, just so we have a look at?
Do.
Yeah, it's, when I looked at your plan in particular, your front door is fantastic. So the chi coming into your front door is awesome. And it's really important to have the chi activated and coming in the right areas, because when we have a building, it imprints its chi within it. So we understand that what the chi is doing in a particular building that's facing a particular direction, which then also gives us calculations so that we can read what's on site. So it's almost a little bit scientific, because it's a study of chi and its interactions within a particular environment. So it's very calculated, it's very accurate. It's not so much a feeling or an intuitive hit of a particular site, but it's being able to calculate the chi and understand what that chi formations are doing within your building. So for your back door, the door itself is activating something that's not great. So for us to be able to put that screen there, what we're doing is manipulating the chi so it comes in on a good chi formation. So then that heightens the potential for new opportunities and, work for you and things like that. So it's it's very complicated, and it's much more than what you can read in a book. So there's lots of different schools of feng shui, and people get really confused with feng shui when they read from a book, because one book will tell you to do one thing and another book will tell you to do another thing. But that's only because you're reading that one school of information. Whereas as a consultant, we have schooled in multiple schools, and then we're able to understand what's the priority, and then how that applies to that specific site. So
each person is different as well. So each person's circumstances are different. Each person's house is different. The way the chi lies or flows is different. So coming back to mine, so was it the chi coming through the front door and then going straight out the back door, or was it something to do with that corner in that kitchen where the fridge was?
It was specifically your back door and where the fridge was placed. So that was creating a particular chi formation that makes matters worse. So, so things will gradually get worse. So when we actually stopped that activation, so we had to move the fridge into a good area and block that chi from coming in that front door. So we totally deactivated that situation. So it doesn't continue to occur.
So the other thing that I had was those 3 very tall pots at the front of the house. and I had the issues with my eyes, and you said they create mountains or blockages.
Sickness mountains.
Yeah.
So that's another form of feng shui school. It's actually called form school feng shui. And what we do is we look at the chi and the forms around the outside of your home, which is really important as well, because it tells us what can be occurring inside the building or for that occupant. But for you in particular, a lot of people really, they put things in front of their homes and they create forms. And generally, like a fence is a form, but that's more of a continued form. But when you have things like pots that are quite high, like you had, some people might have put a really big fountain in front of their house. They may have a garden with lots of bushes that creates a form. So when you have a form in the front of the house, that, if it's big enough, can create what we call a sickness mountain. And so that actually may contribute to illness within the home. And in particularly the eyes. It can lead to other things, but there is a link to the eyes. So when I don't know whether you wrote about it on your Facebook or something, that you were concerned about your eyes, and I'm like, I need to see what's happening at the front of your home, and if we can do anything about it. All I want you to do is move them, get out of the way. How is your eyes? I don't know how they are now.
So much better. All of whatever it was is gone, and I just had some more blood tests to check my rheumatoid. So it's some of the rheumatoid thing in the blood that shows up whether you've got an issue. So I get that next week now. But it's most definitely good. But what was really funny, because I went out and got some smaller pots and plants, and I put them all in a little clump. And she went, "No, you can't do that." So
I create a form.
And none of us know if we don't know, do we? If
Absolutely.
So I've now got little dotted ones, and they're really nice, and they're only little. And then, as I said, all of this stuff started coming in, which is absolutely incredible. So I've got sliding doors to my dining room, to the garden.
Yes.
And I've also got a back door, which is in the laundry. You said, don't use that door, don't use that. And it's always locked because I've got plants in front of it outside. So you said that was great, but it is the screen in front of the other one that's a bit of an issue. However, and people come into my house and go, "What's that there for?"
I know. I mean, Yeah, if we could change the door, we would. But yeah, the other option is just to put a screen there to manipulate it. But and one of the other things that a lot of people don't realize is that we can actually read the person within the home. So you may have a home where everyone is healthy except for one person, or everyone's, doing really well with their job, yet there's another person in the household that may be losing their job all the time or not able to get the job of their dreams and things like that. And it's because we're able to link the person astrologically with the astrology of the home. And when we see where they're linked, and just say they're linked to a bad chi configuration, like having a fridge in a bad area, then that's going to create problematic scenarios or situations for that person. And we can see it directly in the floor plan.
Okay. So I mentioned at the beginning about your what I saw about you and how you changed your life. Do you want to share some of that?
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, Laura Lou and Eva, hello. Just say hello. Now, Laura Lou has said, what steps do I need to take to move forward with my healing, please? Now, I don't know if that's something you can answer, but we'll come back to that in a second. But let's have what happened to you.
Yeah. So we were living in another house actually from this one, and this was prior to this knowledge, by the way. So I got very ill. I got sick with a gut, some sort of weird gut thing. The doctors could not answer what was going on with me, and I was really sick, and I was sick for about 6 years, and I went through everything. I went through specialists, doctors, had so many tests done. I never really got an answer. I had naturopaths, acupuncturists, kinesiology. I did everything. I did the whole lot.
You lost a huge amount of weight and then only could live on rice and chicken.
Rice and chicken. I lived for a while. I had these extreme symptoms, like where I was burning. I felt like I was like literally on fire internally.
Wow.
And I couldn't really eat anything. So everything that I'd put in, I just reacted to. It wasn't a very nice 6 years. It was almost like chronic fatigue. I couldn't get up off the sofa for months on end, and then I could work for a little bit and then I'd crash and burn. And eventually I started, with the help of Fengshui and with the help of a Chinese medicine doctor as well. So I always recommend to combine any sort of, especially health-related things. I always combine the two. But what it actually had triggered it previously at the old house was, I believe, since going back and looking at all my work prior to, I had put a water feature in what's called a basa, which was in the pig, which I'm the pig. Astrologically, I'm a pig. And it was a bad gua, and it was considered a basa. So a basa is a chi configuration, which you have. That's your laundry door. That's why I'm like, don't open that door. It can suppress you. So it can either bring people who target, bully you, external sources trying to suppress you. And also on a health related, it's like that suppression of the immune system, right?
Yeah.
So, and, digestion as well. So we moved house, and once I started working with the Feng Shui here as well, it assisted with opening up the door to finding the right practitioner to help me. So eventually, after quite a few years, I found out what was actually occurring for me, and I was able to address it. And then it just gets better and better as the more I work with our place, the better things get.
And I love, I'm going to say hello to Jenny Doherty. I've been talking about you, Jenny, and writing nice things about you. And Steve Conrad, lovely to see you on here. What was I going to say? So what do you do for other people? I know you do. I'm fascinated by the fertility feng shui.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people who are struggling.
Yes.
Babies. So can you help people who are also going through the fertility program, like the IVF type thing?
Yes, it's an added bonus. So we always, support people who are going through fertility programs, absolutely. And I want to sort of clarify how, I guess, feng shui can help with your health, because a lot of people just go, oh, how is that even possible? So if we consider, how acupuncturists and Chinese doctors work, because I work with Chinese metaphysics, we work with the same system. It's called the Chinese 5 elements. But we work with the same system. And if you go and see an acupuncturist, they're working with your internal chi. Sometimes the external chi and how it gets into your system, but essentially it's your internal chi.
But when they work with the meridians, they usually put the pins in meridian points, don't they? So is that the chi of the body?
Yes, correct. Yes.
I know something.
You know that. Great, yes. Which then nourishes organs and all different systems of the body as well.
Yeah.
So they're working with the internal chi, but that internal chi also needs a source, which is your external chi, which comes from your environment. So that's where feng shui can assist. So if we speak completely energetic and on that chi level, if you're living in a space where you've got problematic chi happening over here that's linked to this person astrologically, and we've got some other problematic chi happening over here, and then we activate it with a number of things, say a doorway, a fridge, a dishwasher, say.
Me.
Then the more activations in that particular problematic chi, the stronger it is and how it affects the chi internally for that person. So
Ian's just said the ley lines of the body. That's what the meridians are, aren't they?
Correct.
The ley lines of the body.
Yes.
Hi, Karen, and hi, Rob. Nice to see you. Yep. So go on. This is fascinating because we just don't realize. I mean, I'm going to quickly mention, I think Hong Kong was based on Feng Shui. It was built on, and it's the most successful city in the world.
It's got perfect form school Feng Shui.
Yeah.
So you got the mountains at the back supporting the chi, and then that's got the water in the front, and that's got the perfect white tiger and green dragon form of, so it collects the chi and it can maintain it and hold that chi in. So it's not only is it like the finance capital of the world, but it's also the highest, most popular place for the buildings to be feng shuied as well.
Wow. Okay. Sorry, I detracted from what you were talking about.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So basically when we work with our environment and we're deactivating the problematic chi, and then we go and activate all the good chi that nourishes us, it assists with how our body takes in that chi as well. So it helps to support our system. So that's generally how feng shui assists us in that sort of health aspect. So in fertility, I mean, like we were talking about the sickness mountain at the front of the house, that's also a very big sign of if people are experiencing miscarriages. Can be, sometimes we can link it to having that sickness mountain at the front of the house. So there's also other places within the home that we then go in and we nourish. And for fertility in particular, it's a very specialized field. It's not every feng shui practitioner knows the fertility knowledge, I guess, the school, but we nourish certain areas of the home, so that then is linked to the womb of the woman. We also move the bed in a particular area, and we line it up with the chi of the male or the person that's actually supporting the female that's holding.
I'm just giggling. I'm just giggling to myself here. I'm thinking, don't put the bed in the kitchen, please.
No, that's it. No. But we try and find, and there are some houses that, sometimes we just say, how about you move somewhere else for the time period to conceive? Once the baby's born, then come back to this house. Because there are some houses that aren't conducive to fertility. We work with life and death chi. So some houses, I'm going to say, can I say that? Some houses may contribute to getting very ill and dying, or accidents and death. And other homes are really great for fertility. So but it's, we have to actually look at the house and see it. As you said, it's all very individualized.
So you go to visit people's houses, and the geomancy is you actually do you use the dowsing rods on that, or do you use other things?
No, I'm a dowser, so I take the dowsing rods to houses, and then that's very on site. So I go on site and I douse a house.
I love watching you go off with your little suitcase and all your bits and pieces, and off you go. It's funny. I've done dowsing. Years ago, people used to get me to, a lot of the time in the UK, to go and my house is, there's all sorts of weird things happening. Could you come and check it out? I found water under the house. I found I thought it was dead bodies buried in the garden, but they were the dead bodies pigs. But anyway, interesting. And water flowing under the house. And you go, and I love it when you use the dowsing rods and they just go like that, and you think, well, there's definitely something there. And then you just move things around a bit, or you put some crystals in, or whatever you choose to do. But that's what I did. So it's interesting that it's a Feng Shui thing as well.
It's actually considered the original Feng Shui, because what they used to do would be, just say they wanted an area for farming and to build their farmhouse, living quarters. They would actually put their animals onto the land and then watch those animals to see where they slept, where they ate, whether they were energized. And so wherever they slept, and then they would build the homes in the calm sort of areas of that land. So they would watch the animals to see what was actually happening energetically on site.
Because animals are they say insects and animals and all sorts of things, like in Australia, they know when the fires are going and they know where to go. They know when the rains are coming and they know where to go. So we should pay more attention to our animals. But it's funny, because the first time I saw a dowsing rod demonstration, I've got them here, by the way. They're always sitting just to poke me in the eye, just over there. And they're just metal rods. And the first time I saw a demonstration was at a ladies' luncheon in a very posh part of London. And they were all ladies and duchesses and things like that. And this lady came along, and she just blew me away, because the energy that she, I'm going to say, created because of herself, went way out of the room, and she was checking it, and it was just incredible. So I thought, I'm going to go and get some of those, and I've used them regularly since, because especially with a house clearing or checking if they're ill or anything like that, I think that's quite good.
Because they're actually picking up on the magnetic energy field.
So with
Yeah.
the house that you've moved into now, did you have many changes to do in there? I love your little videos where you say, right, today I've got to make sure it's this, this, and this. And you fast forward them, which are really great.
Yeah.
And it is, and you put lots and lots of color in, and you make sure it's all clean and tidy. And with 2 young teenagers, that's pretty hard to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of the times people think that feng shui is not all about, but is about like decluttering and keeping everything, interior design, colors. But really, that's not my job as a consultant.
No.
It is, but one of the main things, and one thing that is very empowering, especially for DIY, is to create a space that you actually love to come home to.
Yes.
Because that's where you can de-stress your cortisol, and everything can just calm down. And it also, you want to be home, you want to be in a space that's beautiful. And really, we call that shen qi. So when we create a space that's beautiful, it enhances shen qi, which nourishes us. There's also something called sha qi, which is the complete opposite. So that's like toxic smells, or really run down houses, or things that mold, that creates this very energetically negative sort of vibe, I guess you'd call it. That's sha qi.
It's interesting that you say about my house where I live now, the energy at the front is welcoming the chi.
Yeah.
Every time somebody comes to my front door and they open, or I open the door, they go, wow, it feels amazing in here.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having your door placement's so important. Because it, as you've just said, it welcomes in the chi. If it's coming in on a good gua, that's what we call it, guas, area, then it has the potential to open opportunities for you, create amazing scenarios. And the front of your home is where you bring money and abundance in. So it provides great work opportunities and things like that. So for our house, we had something, a lot of houses now, like modern houses, they put a lot of pylons at the front door, and they can, the big thick pylons, and they recess the door, so you've got corners everywhere, which, from my perspective, I go, oh. But we have a pole outside of our front door, and I think within a couple of days I screened that, so it wasn't creating an issue. And my partner got his dream job, dream studio to work from. So it's
interesting.
It just blows me away all the time.
Tony's just put that she lives in a flat in a closed-in area, and there's a lot of laughter in her home.
Yep. Yes. That could happen.
That could just be to do with Jenny Doherty.
It could be. If you're happy, right? There are scenarios where, like, from my perspective, you can, when you think about environments, we always, that if you've got a very healthy, happy person and you put them in, say, a toxic work environment where, they're going to respond to that environment. No matter how mentally strong and resilient they are, they will get affected by that. And it's the same as us living in a home. Our home is our environment, regardless of the people that we're with, but it will actually influence us, and it can actually override what we call woman luck or man luck.
So I suppose a lot of people would come to you like they do for me, with a reading. When am I going to meet a tall, dark, handsome stranger, get a new job, or win the lottery? So what do you do when people come to you and ask you the same questions? What advice can you give them, or what little things can they do to help a relationship or to help their health?
Yeah. Okay. So from a DIY, if people want to just have some tips to take home tonight, a really good thing to do is to find out where the center of your home is. So your center of your home, if you imagine, is like the heart of your home, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
that's nice and open and it's light, you've got air coming in from your front door, or you've got some windows open that can nourish, like the chi can come into the center of the home, that's considered your heart, like emotional heart. And that assists you personally to open up to being receptive to other people, as well as opportunities. It's also great for your gut health. So your center of your home is very, very important because it nourishes the entire home, because that center then generates the chi for the entire home. But you don't want anything like a fridge or a stove or anything activating in it, because it then will activate all areas of the home, good and bad. You just want it open and free. A lot of people have their living space in the center of their home, but sometimes you'll notice there might be a cupboard, and that cupboard may contribute to you feeling locked in or not wanting to actually meet other people or go out and find opportunities for yourself. So that's really important.
So a couple of questions here. Jenny Doherty says, meet a man with a stick-on hairy chest and move to Las Vegas.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Yeah.
There is
Go on.
there is a practice that we do called activating your peach blossom. So everyone will have a peach blossom, and then we look at your astrology chart, find what your personal peach blossom is, link it to your home, and then we activate it on a certain day using certain things, and that assists with attracting your partner. So we can do things like that. But it is very personalized. I can't generalize it, I'm afraid.
Yeah. And Mel has just asked, how do we find the center of our home?
That's a really good question, because not all homes are the same shape or size. It really depends on the shape of your home. Obviously, if it's a square box home, you can just do your corners to corner cross and find the center of your home. Or if it's a little bit like an L-shaped home, you can just adjust it a little bit, say shave a little bit off the front of the home and do that cross measurement as well. Okay. So it might be a little bit of hit and miss for you, but when we're just talking about just finding the center of your home for that particular practice, you can also eyeball it. You'll know. Yeah. You'll know where the center of your home is.
So with mine, the center of my home is actually in my living room, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll have to have a look. I've got
yours. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yes, it's in your living room. Yeah, near the wall.
And my living room is so spacious and so beautiful, and it's pink. I've got a big pink rug, so it's warm. It's the heart color, so maybe that works for me. They're all laughing at Jenny Doherty.
Roger, is she?
He says she's a nutter. Roger, no wonder you're friends with Val. And Ian's saying about always laughing. So Laura Lou has asked the question again. So I will, and Mel says thank you for that information. So everybody's going to be going and drawing crosses in their living room tonight to see what's what. So Laura Lou is asking about what steps do I need to take to move forward with my healing?
Okay, so it depends on what type of healing. Is it like health healing or emotional? But anyway, look, when it's for you personally, I can't generalize that, because I need to look at your floor plan. So if someone comes to me and says, I've got a health issue, or I have financial problems, or I've just gone through a divorce, or something like that, the first thing I need is an accurate to scale floor plan. I can't do the work without a floor plan. And I then also get your date of birth and your address. So I work with clients nationally, internationally, locally, and then I link you to your home, understanding what's actually inside your home and what's activating it. So I then need to find out, well, where's the problematic stuff? Like, let's have a look at what's actually occurring in the home, and then we deactivate that, and then we nourish you as well once everything's deactivated.
So would it help to start with if you found the center of your home and made that a really special, warm, lovey, huggy sort of place?
It's more open. So you want your center to be nice and open. You don't want to be putting many things in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't clutter it. Don't put things in it. Just keep it nice and spacious. And again, the front of that home, ensure that it's nice and clear, that it doesn't have big forms in the front of it. So the chi is able to be collected into the front of the home in order to get into your house with the least obstruction. That probably sounds,
I'm going to go and find the center of my home and go and stand in it and wallow in it. It just feels like a really nice thing to do.
Well, interesting with geomancy, we find the umphalis of the site. The umphalis. So the umphalis is like a portal. And we get information about the home and the land by sitting in the umphalis, which is generally the center of your home. So you can do meditation. It's the calmest, most balanced, energetically balanced area of a site.
Wow.
So what you were saying is spot on.
Okay.
You can do that.
Well, I'm going to find mine and stand and wallow in it. So Natty Cat has said, so I think, Laura Lou, that maybe you need to find the center of your home, which is the umphalit, if that's the right way of saying it. Yeah, and maybe stand in that space and I mean, I would instantly say get some crystals like rose quartz and clear quartz and those sorts of things as well, because crystals are really good for energizing things, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But I generally don't recommend crystals on the feng shui level, but with geomancy, we don't use crystals and things like that really. But in geomancy, we can use, I generally would only use black tourmaline to ground the site, as well as to set up your boundaries.
So I had somebody's energy. Now, this sounds really crazy, but I had somebody's energy in my home, and I was so angry. So I went and got the black tourmaline. I think you suggested it, and I've got it over the front door, over the back door, and I haven't had anything since. But it's interesting because at the time that I made all these changes, I was gifted. I brought it in and showed people the other week. It's about 13, 14 inches tall, but it's a geode. An amethyst geode, and it's facing, she's a she, and she faces the front door. And then all of this, so I think it's a case of it's a mixture of a few things that have happened here. So Natty Cat has just asked, is it better to have your front door on the front or the side of the house?
It doesn't matter, and it'd be really what your chart, the actual chart of your home is. So that doesn't matter.
Okay. And Tracy Affleck, trust you, you're another nutcase that I know. It sounds like Oompa Loompas Willy Wonka.
Maybe.
Yeah, your umpha. What was the name of it again?
The umphalis. So that's in Greece at the Olympia, where the priestesses.
Ah,
used to be, you know, the Umphalis? No, that's where the
never,
name comes from.
I've never heard of
Where
that
the
before.
priestesses, the Oracle of Delphi is. Have
Oh,
you ever
wow,
heard of
okay.
that? No?
I haven't. I'm
So
going to have
that
a look.
at the Oracle of Delphi, there was an opening of the earth where the oracles used to be, and all the, I don't know whether they're called emperors, but all the military people would come to the seers, the oracles, to get information about the wars and whether people would win or not. And they would actually sit over this opening, this crack in the earth. And it was actually like a toxic gas or something that they used to then go into some sort of trance and do readings for people.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's where we got the name, the Umphalis, for geomancy.
Okay. It makes me think of the film Mamma Mia, you know, at the very end, and they're all dancing and there's the big crack and they're all going, Adelphi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I don't know that movie, but it must be a link.
Renee, I'm disgusted.
Sorry.
I've seen it a million times, but yeah,
Ah.
it just, all the water shoots out and they just shout Adelphi and it's all in slow motion. So that is linked to that as well.
That
Anyway,
must be linked to that because they were in Greece, weren't they?
yeah, Greek
Yeah.
islands. That's right. Okay, so the Umphala is our portal.
It's like a portal, yeah. And it's the
That's
most
really
balanced area, like geologically, of a whole site. So this is outside of Feng Shui. This is geomancy. Yeah. So when we're working with the geomancy of a site, what I do as a practitioner anyway, we're there to actually locate geopathic stress. And that geopathic stress can create scenarios and either erratic behavior in some of the occupants on site, or sometimes it can attract things like graffiti or, you know, targeting and things like that. So with the dowsing rods, we use the Umphalis for a portal of the home to get information. So we'd meditate in there. We get information from it, as well as we start all of our dowsing from that area and then work out of the site.
Okay.
To locate the geopathic stress. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Mel says that she's got crystals at the front and back door, black tourmaline and rose quartz, and wind chimes at the front and back door, and recently ripped out bushes at my front and side garden.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but some people, if you have a look at some houses, they've got these trees and they're growing like massively bushes against the windows of their house or right against the wall. And it's just like, cut them down.
Don't do it.
Yeah, because, you know, like the windows are the eyes of the house.
Yes.
So if you're obstructing that, it's not only can, you know, stagnate the chi in a physical sense, but it's also our perception of the world and how we view things.
Yeah.
So being able to have a nice open view allows us to open our own minds and awareness to a broader perspective on life as well.
Yeah. That's really interesting. I'm just thinking about where I live, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 people that have got great big bushes in front of their house. So I'm going to go and tell them to chop them down.
I know.
So Gail has just asked, do jade plants at the front door attract money plus a reg pot?
I would say not very much, no. So when we're looking at finances, it's so much deeper than, you know, if we all put a jade plant at the front door, we should all be rich. But it doesn't work like that. So we look at a home in a holistic view, and we can see whether certain things are activated or not. Say, for example, I had a business that It was a 16-year-old business doing amazingly well, like super abundant, very busy, and they had to move location. Within moving location, after 2 years, the business, they had to close the business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like it was significantly, like a major significant change in their finances just from moving from one location to the next. I was able to look at their plans. Unfortunately, it was too late. They got me in way too late. But they had a robbery SHA. Now, that was activated like 3 times, which is quite powerful. Now, a robbery SHA is something that you wouldn't know unless you got a professional in to read that. But a jade plant, while it's symbolically great and it helps to trigger our consciousness for abundance, it's not going to do, if we've got a robbery SHA that's activated, it's not going to address that. So it's really, you can do those things. Obviously, in a DIY sense, you do want things to trigger your consciousness or subconscious to go, okay, we can bring in abundance. Yes, we can do this on a subconscious level. But there's also that other side of things, is when we see the calculated chi, then that gives us like a very specific understanding of what's occurring on site and how we can address that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've actually put Renee's web address up here. I put it there early. So if any of you want to go and have a look at what she does, then please do. So Robert says that he's got 2 Bagua mirrors, one at the front door and the other at the back door. Is that good?
I'd be asking why he put them there, and did he have problem neighbours?
Okay. I want to say, sorry, I'm just going to say hello quickly to Jack from Denmark. Lovely to see you, Jack. And Helen Ryan has just said, gee whiz, you'd be mortified if you could see the hedge at my front door, but need that for privacy. Live in a villa in a retirement village. With extra wide front door to accommodate an ambulance stretcher. So how can you negate that then?
Well, it depends. Look, I'd have to look at that hedge. If the hedge is like a fence, it's completely different. It's not actually creating a form like a sickness mountain, right? So if it's a hedge and it's creating like a boundary line, then that's totally fine. But if it's like a single form in the middle and it's not attached to anything, then it can be creating some stuff.
Okay, so you need to have a look at that, I think, Helen.
It really depends on where it is.
Yeah, and Tracy's just asked, oh, it's a hedge and it's nicely trimmed. Okay,
yeah, that's okay. If it's like a fence, totally good.
Yeah. So Tracy said, are there any specific colours to help within the home?
From my perspective, as a professional, we don't work particularly with colours, only maybe 1 or 2. But that's more, I would say, interior design as well as personal choice. So whatever makes you happy, I always say that first, as well as what is the function of that room. So you want to obviously match the colour with the function of the room and the intended use of it. So you don't want to have an extremely vibrant yellow for a bedroom where you want to be nice and calm and sleep. Yeah. So it really depends on the intended use, your personal preference. And the only thing that I would say is try and keep red to a minimum. Red is the most activating color out of the entire spectrum. We can use red to activate certain areas, but you'd need to know what those areas are. You don't want, it's a myth to paint every single door a red door. You just don't do that. Please don't do that.
So my kettle and toaster are going. They're both red, so they're going to have to go tomorrow.
That's all right. It's only a little bit of red.
That's
It's when
true.
people do entire walls or, you know,
Yeah. My ex-husband had delusions of grandeur because he used to work in with royals all the time. So he painted our whole dining room a deep, deep red and gold.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
How did
wow.
you feel in there?
Awful. It was oppressive. It was really
Yeah.
oppressive.
Yep.
And our relationship just got worse and worse and worse from that point as well, funnily enough. So Natty Cat has asked, how about goldfish ponds outdoors? Is there a
Yes.
preferred location?
There is, but it's very specific to your home. So they are very activating. Water is one of the most activating things. Water is actually chi. So Feng Shui means water and wind, which is chi.
Yeah.
And water in particular generates chi. So if you can imagine, chi is not only external from us, but internal, then our eyesight and what we see creates chi as well as gives us an understanding of where the chi is moving. So if you notice that if you've got a body of water, say a lake or an ocean, where does everyone face their house? They don't face it to the street. They face it to the water because it's that magnetic.
That's interesting because Helen has just said the one with the bush outside, that's a hedge. She said, I think I'll make my back door my front door. I live on the edge of a lake.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah. And Robert, as far as the bagua in the back and front, he said he did have a problematic neighbour, one in particular, but he moved towards the end of last year. So his baguas obviously did the trick, which
They're
is
very, very powerful.
Yeah.
So we generally don't encourage people to put baguas outside because they're so powerful unless there's a reason to. So you don't just put them out just willy-nilly.
Yeah.
But the fact that he said he had problematic neighbors and it helped by the sounds of it, then that's generally what we use them for, very toxic or very volatile sort of situations.
Yeah.
Because you have to also remember, not only are they bouncing the chi back and out with like a toxic situation, but when things are good, we don't want to be bouncing that chi back out.
No.
We want to be welcoming it in.
Yeah. Okay. Ian's just said my conservatory furniture has to go then because it's red.
Oh, no.
Wait for me to
put a
come
couple
in.
of cushions.
Yeah, I was just going to say, wait for me to come and I'll make some new cushion covers for it. And then Mel has just asked, and we're going to have to go in a minute. I'm enjoying this. It's lovely. What about a bird bath in the backyard next to the fence?
Fences, well, that should be all right. It's not massive. I'm very particular with water, and because they are so activating, having things further away against a fence is great, just because we've already talked about the sickness mountain at the front, but we also can have them at the back of our house as well. But putting things like the height of a bird bath or anything like that, having them against the fence, great, perfect. Yeah. And the fact that it's only just a little bit of water for your birds, I wouldn't be stressing about it. So enjoy your birds.
So Helen, who's got the lake behind her, said Spirit chose this house for her. She moved from interstate, never saw the place, but when she moved in, it was perfect. Obviously. Yeah. I've created a job for me now when I go back to the UK, because I've got to make Ian some new cushion covers. Oh dear. Well, do you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure and such fun as well chatting to you. I said to everybody that they'll enjoy you being on here because you've got a great personality, and I really love you as a friend, but also with your knowledge. And I, as I said at the beginning, I cannot believe the difference it made to my house, making most of the changes.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, what I find is really great for you is like it hasn't been a massive change for you. Like there's some houses that I go, wow, this is like really not there's a lot to do. But just by doing the simple things that you've done, which hasn't been massive, you've had such great results. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I'm happy too.
Yeah.
Okay. So Renee's information is reneelongworth.com. So go and have a look. And if you're interested, get in contact with her and tell her that you've come from here as well. And Mel's just said, what a fun, informative night. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And it's lovely. I love to do this with fun and laughter because I think it's very, very important. But before we go, I know Rosemary was on here from Natty Cat, just said an interesting topic. We've got light, what do they call them? Light languages. A lady that does light languages coming in a couple of weeks' time, which I'm excited about. So she does crystal mandala things. And I said, can you do your light languages? Which she said, my favorite subject. Yes. Oh. And I've actually had a healing with 3. Rosemary was one of them. But I had 3 of them giving me a healing. And oh my goodness, I'm lying on the bed and it felt like there were 100 people around me, but they're talking to each other in this light language, and they all knew what they were talking about, which was fascinating.
Wow.
So she's going to be really interesting to have on. So Rosemary's in, as I say, Bordertown, and I'm going to Bordertown in October. And I've just, oh gosh, that's why I'm not well. I've just worked so hard in the last week or so, putting together all my events for the year. And then you've got to put it on Facebook. You've got to put it on the website. You've got to do all the payment links as well. And then you've got to promote it. And we're already getting bookings. So beware and be warned. We're already getting bookings for June, October and November, which is incredible. So, and the Melbourne dates in Romsey are nearly sold out. So if you're interested in Romsey, all on my website. So let me just put my website up quickly. And if anybody hasn't got your information, we can I can give it to them again. They can get in touch with me. But yeah, so that's all going really, really well, which is fantastic. I've got some readings. I've got some readings that I'm going to be doing the 3rd and 4th of May. So if anybody's interested, I will be at where will I be? The Mornington Peninsula. And I don't know if you know this. I was telling people last week, I've made a complete boo-boo. So I thought I was flying out to the UK on the 10th of May. And I'm working in Mornington Peninsula and on the 5th of May. And I suddenly looked and thought, oh, I better just check this. And I'm actually flying out on the 6th. So I've got a 12-hour drive. Thank goodness. A nighttime flight is all I can say. So I've got a pack for going away to Melbourne. And I've got a pack for going away for the UK before I actually leave here, which is in 4 weeks' time. But very, very interesting tonight. Helen, Rosebud, my favorite place. I will be at Romsey. That's fantastic. I've already bought my ticket. Oh, Leanne, we'll look forward to that. It's interesting because a lady that comes on here, she's also bought a ticket to see me locally here on Wednesday, which is really interesting. So yes, I think I'm in a place near everybody this year. So so have a look at my website as well, because it's now all up there. And all the events with Jenny are all up except 2. Blackpool has been confirmed. We just need the information. But Jenny makes me laugh. She ring me or message me. I've got us another booking. Got us another booking. So, it is. It's amazing. It's the best. And I'm going to put it all down to this Feng Shui stuff. So go and have a look, guys. Yes. And it's interesting. It's more than I used to think it was a load of like that, but it's not. It's very
when it's done properly. Yeah,
when it's done properly, and you do such great job or jobs with so many different people. I know that, Renee. So don't forget to put your names for healing. Now, I will go into the site later and get the names. We've had a lot of trolls, by the way, and I've been blocking them slowly. But when this is finished, they'll still go in and read, and they'll block. So if you get any trolls, send me a message and I will block them. There's not much I can do about it, sadly, apart from block them when I know that they're basically after your money. Telling you that they can do fantastic readings, but you've got to pay, probably a lot of gazillion dollars for it. So don't. So remember, Feng Shui can help with your home, your mood, your health, your business, your fertility, production of abundance. It can help with so many things. It's incredible.
Many things. It is, yeah.
Quick question. Would it also work if I decided that I want to plant things in my garden? Because it's interesting. I've got a courtyard garden, and there are certain parts of the courtyard that produce prolifically and others that just don't.
Yeah, that could be that's where geomancy comes in. It could be the sunlight and the way the sun moves around your home as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the geomancy. Geomancy, you'll actually, like I said before, you can observe your environment, the animals, the way the plants grow.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you see overgrown weeds, particularly creeping vines, it generally will indicate geopathic stress.
Okay. All right. We will have to. We might have to get you on again, Renee, because this has been really interesting, and I'm sure there's so much more that you could talk to us about. Helen, I've just put her name in my healing book. I have it here. So don't forget, if you've got names for healing. I don't know if you know this, Renee. This is a prayer book, Anne Boleyn's prayer book, and I actually got it from Hever Castle, which is where she lived.
Oh, wow.
One of Henry VIII's palaces. And it's beautiful. It's got lots of different pictures and things in it. But and on the front it's written, "Remember me when you do pray, that hope doth lead from day to day." And I thought that made such a beautiful healing book. So there's my healing book. So any names, let me know. Kerry, I will put those names in, I promise you. And I don't want to go because I've so enjoyed tonight.
Thank you for having me, Val. That's awesome. Thank you.
It's been really gorgeous, and I'm so glad that you put that video up when you did, or that snippet, because even though you've given me in October, I didn't put it into place until this side of Christmas.
Yeah.
And then look what's happened. It's just incredible. And then I met the lovely Natty Cat, who's offering me all sorts of work, and Danielle as well. It's just been amazing. So yes, lots of people saying thank you for tonight. So next week is me giving readings. Now, I never do cards, but I'm doing cards. I know everybody going, "You're doing cards," but I'm doing live readings next week, so that's what next week is, and then I'm super enjoyable, very interesting. Many thanks for tonight. Thank you for tonight. That's really lovely. Well,
thank you.
Thank you so much, Renee, for joining me. And I think we might get her on again later in the year. What do you think, guys? Yes. Okay. And I wanted to mention, actually, your lovely husband is a tattoo artist. What do they call them?
Tattoo artists. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your beautiful boys are shooting up like crazy. They're gorgeous as well. And you do all of this stuff in between looking after all of them as well. But it's hard.
It's a lot.
It's hard being a mom. Yeah. Anyway, look, we're going to go. But thank you, everybody, for joining me. Don't forget, 7:00 next week, same time, same channel. I feel like going kapow, bang, because that's the Batman thing years ago. You're probably not old enough. Anyway, but have a great week, everybody. And I'm really glad that you've enjoyed tonight. Glad you've been able to listen all the way through, Roger. And we will see you. Yeah, absolutely. We want you back is what's just come up here. Absolutely.
That's so nice.
Thank you, everybody, and we will see you again next week. Okay, lots of love and healing everywhere for all of you. Thank you. Bye.